Hello students. Now in order to continue, now I will discuss symbol with you. Now symbol is a very important figure of speech in whole world of literature. Now what is a symbol? Symbol is something which stands for something else. What do you call it in Hindi? A pratik. Okay. For example, cross is the symbol of Christianity. Om is the symbol of Hinduism. And a moon and a star is the symbol of Mohammedan religion. So we can see symbols everywhere. Whenever we are walking on the road, we can see the symbol of stop or go. And there are a lot of other symbols also. No horn area, and we can see the symbol that no overtaking is allowed over here. So a lot of symbols. Now what is a symbol? A symbol is something which means something else. Symbol is not complete in itself. It has got a meaning beyond itself. Beyond itself means that it signifies something else. When we look at a symbol, we understand something else, that this cross is not complete in itself. This cross means Christianity. Okay, and when we see an Indian flag, what is it? What does it stand for? It stands for Indian independence. And a white flag, it signifies peace. Red color, it signifies anger or love. So a symbol is simply something which stands for something else. For example, all these emojis, what they are? The smiley means that I'm happy, okay, and that crying face means that you are not happy. They are symbols. The message is conveyed through them. The basic thing is that the message should be conveyed through them. What do they want to convey? Now, in literature also, symbols are very important. And if we look into the matter deeply, then every word is a symbol. Every word is a symbol, because when we read BOOK, it means a book. Okay, it is not a word in itself, but it means a book. So in poetry, symbols are very important. And I hope you remember a poem which you read in first year, that was Ice and Fire. Do you remember it? Ice and Fire is a very powerful poem reflecting symbols. Now there are only two symbols, ice and fire, and just taking two symbols, the poet Edmund Spenser has represented his inner feelings, and he has also expressed the feelings of his beloved. Nowhere has he said directly that he loves his beloved very much, and nowhere has he expressed directly that his beloved is not interested in him. But he has just taken two symbols of ice and fire, and he has explained the whole process of his mind and heart. So, the whole poem expresses his feelings because of two symbols. One, the first symbol is ice, and that ice symbolizes the cold behavior of the beloved, who is not interested in accepting the love of her lover. And the second symbol is of fire, and fire symbolizes enthusiasm. Fire symbolizes his growing love. So now I think it is clear for you how important symbols are. Just by taking this name ice, we understand what sort of behavior the beloved had for her lover. And just by speaking this word fire, we can understand what sort of growing feelings of love the poet had for his cold beloved. And in your course of third year, there are a lot of symbols. For example, in birches, you have the symbol of cobweb and pathless woods. Cobweb symbolizes those problems of life which are not seen. They are unpredictable. We don't know when we cross that cobweb and it tickles our face and it creates irritation, then we come to know that, oh, we have crossed a cobweb. So, cobweb symbolizes unseen and unpredictable problems of life. And cobweb is also a symbol of a trap, because in a cobweb, insects are trapped. In the same way, we are also trapped in the problems of life. So, another example of symbol in birches is pathless woods. Pathless woods means those ways which are not known, which don't have a path. Means in life, sometimes you are stuck. You don't know where to go because woods means jungle. Suppose you are crossing a jungle, and naturally a jungle is pathless. It does not have the signboards that turn left or turn right or go straight. It does not have a national highway. It is a way to be created by oneself. So, pathless woods means those jungles which does not have any path. So, what does it symbolize? It symbolizes those problems of life where we don't know where to go because there is no path. We are stuck and we have to create our own path. And in the poem Fernhill also, you have got a lot of symbols. The color green there symbolizes the greenery of childhood. Greenery means freshness, the productivity. And he says sun long and moon long, and a lot of symbols you have. In the same way, in Preludes by T.S. Eliot, vacant lots, broken blinds, they are symbols of broken personality. They are symbols of a fractured personality. So when you will read all the poems, you will come along a lot of symbols in your poems. And the next figure of speech, or the literary term is problem play. Now, play is a very technical term in literature. Play is not as simple as we understand it. So, what does this word play means? First of all, let us understand this word play. Play is a term which means drama. Play is a term which means drama. In other words, it is another name for drama. And what does this word means? Problem. Problem means a thing which is to be thought about any problem, about any obstruction in life. So, problem play is a type of drama which was developed by Henrik Ibsen basically in the 19th century. Now, generally, what happened that in the past literary eras, we had purely comedies or we had purely tragedies. And generally, tragedies and comedies, they had certain things, unbelievable things, which are not easy to believe. For example, in some of Shakespeare's comedies, we have supernatural characters. We have fairies and we have elves and we have ghosts and we have souls. In Macbeth also, there are three witches. But so that is not a real thing. But towards the 19th century, the writers began to think about realism and naturalism. What is realism? That they started writing plays on real life problems. So, in a problem play, the real life problems were discussed. They were taken as a subject. Now, what is the difference between the problem plays and the plays of the past eras? The plays of the past eras, they had such characters which belonged to the higher strata of society. For example, Hamlet was a prince, Macbeth was an army general, Othello was also an army general, and King Lear was a king. So we couldn't relate, a common man could not relate his life to those people because they belong to a high strata of society. But in problem play, what happened that the characters belong to the day to day life. They were living lives like us, and they were facing the same problems like us. So in problem plays, what happened that the authors used to take one single problem one single problem, for example, women empowerment or the problem of labor, whatever it could be. And they used to develop the whole theme around this one single topic. This type of play was based on reality. The themes were real, the characters were real, so we could easily relate to them. That yes, this is my problem which he is discussing. This is my problem of life which he is going through. So, Henrik Ibsen, who is generally called the father of problem play, he wrote a play, A Doll's House. And in that play, in the end, he expressed that the lady who is the heroine of the play, she leaves her house and she goes away. And you can imagine that all the people, they rose against the writer, that how can a lady leave her household, her 3 children and her husband, and go away. Because what happened, all these people were very, very conditioned into the theme of and they lived happily ever after. In their mind, they used to come to watch a play and they had this setting of mind that either it will be a tragedy, or it will be a comedy with a happy ending or a sad ending, in which the writer closed all the options of thinking. But this play, it aroused a storm in the minds of people because they started thinking, what will happen to her children? What will happen to her family? What will happen to Nora herself? Where will she go? Will that marriage survive or not? Will Nora return to her household or not? And this is what Henrik Ibsen, he wanted this, that the audience should think. So the audience just went to his house and they started protesting that you should change the ending and you should do this ending in such a manner that there is a compromise in the end, and please end it happily, that Nora will not leave her house and go. So basically, once he did so, he accepted the advice of the public, but when he came back to his house, he thought again that if I will change the ending of my play, then what happened? Then husbands will never think about the problems of their wife. They will never see the hurt self-respect of their wives. So he said, no, I will have the original ending that Nora leaves her house and go, and it is up to you to think that whether she will return or not, that whether the husband is successful in living without her and whether the wife is successful in living without him or not. Now it is up to you. So this type of drama, it is an open-ended drama. Open-ended means the climax of the play is left to the audience to think. Now George Bernard Shaw and John Galsworthy, they also have contributed in the field of problem play. We have Strife, we have Arms and the Man, we have Candida, we have Apple Cart, a lot of plays which are problem plays. So what is basically problem play? To conclude, that it deals with some single problem. So this play which I discussed, A Doll's House, it dealt with the self-respect of women. Strife is a play by John Galsworthy which deals with the problem of labor and capital. Candida also deals with the problem of a lady's self-respect. So there are a lot of examples. In the same way, Pygmalion is a play which deals with the problem of language. So one single problem is taken in this play and it is dealt with in a very beautiful manner.